Do you feel pressured to go back to school as a nurse? Or are you a nursing student who's already feeling like you're gonna need to go back and get another degree or to advance further? That's what this video is all about. If you're interested in that, please stick around. But first of all, if you're new here, I'm Dr. Lisa Chappell. I'm a Doctor of Nursing Practice, an Associate Professor of Nursing, and soon to be board certified health and wellness nurse coach. I love to empower nurses, students, and caregivers to build resilience and go after the career and life that allows them to serve others from a place of wholeness rather than a place of emptiness. If that sounds like content that you're interested in, please hit that subscribe button below. Also, if this video is helpful to you, please give it a like and do hit that bell for notifications as I do release new videos every week. All right, so let's get into this. I wanted to make an entire video dedicated to toxic lie number 3. Now, I made a video last week on 2 toxic lies that are prevalent within the profession of nursing, and I wanted to dedicate an entire video to this 3rd toxic lie because I think it is so toxic within our profession. So here's the toxic lie. You have to go back to school to become a nurse practitioner, certified registered nurse anesthetist, or DNP, advanced practice nurse, in order to be successful as a nurse. And here's why I think this lie is so toxic. Now, if you are really from the depths of you want to become a nurse practitioner, a certified registered nurse anesthetist, or an advanced practice nurse of any kind, please don't take this video as anything other than supportive for you. I want to make sure that you're making strategic moves for yourself in your career that are going to help you, fill you up, and satisfy you, rather than leave you feeling more confused and more dissatisfied than where you started. And here's what happens, and I see it as a professor of nursing. I see this with my students, that many students come in and they already have in their mind that they're going to go and become a CRNA or an NP of some kind. And sometimes the reasons behind it are, well, they make logical sense actually, because these are higher paid positions. Or they think, I want something where I'm not gonna have to work every other weekend, and I'm not gonna have to work holidays, or I don't have to work night shift. And that may be true for some of these positions, but not necessarily true that nurse practitioners, for example, don't have to work weekends. And I want you to be empowered to advance your career with a strategy rather than just doing what you think you should do or doing what other people are telling you to do. And so I have 3 strategies for you in order to really figure out if that is a route for you or if your path is going to be completely different. So let's get into it. Strategy number 1 is to become a student of yourself before you become a student again. And if you didn't do this before you went into nursing school or before you became a nurse, then I have some really good news for you. Now, I didn't really know anything about myself when I went into nursing. I thought it sounded cool. I think that in my head, I wanted some high up position. I was going to make good money and be successful by the definition of society. And that meant, in my mind, that I needed to become a doctor or a lawyer. I have no idea why or where that came from, but again, high paid positions, right? And I thought that that was going to be the quintessential standard that I should live up to. But I didn't quite feel ready to go into medical school, so I decided that I would start with nursing. Good news is I fell in love with nursing, and I knew that those other things were not for me, that I really loved nursing and wanted to stick with it. And you are drawn to nursing for a reason as well. And The good news that I have for you is no matter what your personality is, if you're more introverted, you're more extroverted, you love and thrive a high intensity environment, or you like to be calm, cool, and collected at all times, then there is something within nursing for you. And you just need to figure out what that is. What you can do is date your profession. So yes, date your profession. It is okay that if you feel like a particular job that you're in isn't suited for you, it's okay to try something else. And you don't have to go back to school to do that. And I know it's tough to make changes in your job. It can be very tough to do that. And you also might see that some people are just jumping from job to job. And if there isn't a strategy behind this, then it's also going to dissatisfy you. So really becoming a student of yourself involves taking a personality test, taking the Enneagram. So I highly recommend 16 personalities, and I will also link a source for the Enneagram, as well as Strength Finders is a good one to find out what are your strengths. What kind of environment would really suit you well and put you in the most optimal position for success and to feel satisfied in your career? What I think happens is so many nurses just go into areas and it's completely in opposition with their personality type, but then they feel like a failure. And that doesn't have to be the case, but you have to really study yourself, understand yourself better, and then make strategic moves to align yourself in a position within nursing that's going to suit you. If that's going back to school, then great, do it. But if it's not, don't just follow the advice of other people blindly. So that brings me to strategy number 2 for advancing your career with strategy. And that is to follow your own quirky heart instead of the cookie cutter advice of others. And people are going to be giving you well-meaning advice all the way along the line in your life and in your career. And they probably come from a place of good intentions even. But it doesn't mean that that advice is going to be what's best for you. And so you have to follow your heart and not be afraid to do that. And your heart might want something that you don't think is cool. And you're gonna have to come to terms with that at some point. But really listening internally to what you think is going to be the best move for you, and then following through on that is going to help you have so much more satisfaction in your life and in your career. And so for me, I followed the well-meaning advice of others and I kept going back to school. In fact, I enrolled in a master's program, not even knowing ultimately if I was going to choose an education route or if I was going to choose the nurse practitioner route. And I remember feeling very pressured, probably by myself, but it's what I thought that I should do, is to go the nurse practitioner route. But inside, I was so opposed to that and so repelling against that because it was not going to be in alignment with what I wanted in my own career. And so ultimately, I'm glad that I chose the education route, but I also kind of went back for my DNP blindly. And I didn't really have a strategy for myself. I thought, well, I want to be a doctor and that's a doctorate, and so I'll do that. But it was a lot of hard work. And I wish that I would have taken that time to understand myself better before I just went back to school. Recently, I read the book by Eileen O'Grady, fantastic book called Choosing Wellness. And she talks about in this book that her PhD in nursing was her favorite mistake. And that's because she felt pressured or just was on this high achieving cycle to get a PhD. However, it wasn't done strategically because she wasn't really sure what she really wanted inside. And it was more just for the accolades of others that she went and achieved this degree. Has it hurt her in her career? No. But she just wishes that she would have taken that time to understand herself better. I feel the same way about my doctorate. I wish that I would have taken this time to understand myself better. And would I have done it if I had done that? I'm not sure I would have, quite honestly. I'm not sure I would have gone and got my doctorate. And I don't think I'd be in any worse of a position now if I hadn't. All right, so my third tip to advancing your career with strategy rather than just going back to school is to redefine success for yourself based on your priorities, not on the well-meaning advice of others or what you think looks great in the eyes of society. And so what I want you to do once you understand yourself better and you start to follow your own heart, then I want you to go after that new redefined success for yourself. So what is it that you want? Have your own business? Do you want to have more variety in your career? Do you want to be a travel nurse and go to Hawaii and go to Alaska? Do you want to take 2 assignments on and then take an entire month off so you can have time with your family? So really understanding deep inside what it is that you want and then defining that as success when you have that, and then making some strategic moves to get there. And so how do you do this? Well, I have a couple of suggestions. One is to download my freebie, Guide to Creating Smart Goals. And this is going to give you an outline for setting goals and then setting actionable steps. But make sure that these goals are based on your internal gut desire, the desires of your quirky heart, and not those of what other people are telling you to do. Then you're gonna set some strategic goals. And I have an example within that Smart Goals guide in terms of how I decided to set up my YouTube channel. And I judge myself very harshly for wanting to start a YouTube channel. I didn't think it was cool. I really didn't. I judge myself and be like, Lisa, no, don't do that. It's not cool. You need to be doing some research and publishing some scholarly papers, not messing around on YouTube. But you know what? That's what I wanted to do deep down in my heart. So judgments aside, I had to follow my own heart. For my second suggestion is to check out my website and be on the lookout for a customized coaching program designed for nurses, students, and caregivers on advancing your career with some strategies, and for also taking a look at your whole life and areas that you really need to nurture yourself in. And I can help you do that through nurse coaching. So do check that out, and I look forward to hearing from you. Please don't forget to like this video if it was helpful to you. Click that subscribe button below and hit the bell for notifications as I do release new videos every week. Have an amazing day, week, month, and year, and I will see you in the next video.